Hi everyone, and welcome to your tarot guidance for the week of April the 11th. But this is a very unique and special week in so very many different ways. Of course, as you probably know by now, and you're so fed up with it, this is the week when the long awaited and super rare, but at the same time heavily karmic conjunction and meeting of Jupiter and Neptune takes place in the sky. And let me just simplify everything. Both Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces rule over anything that has to do with spirituality, ether, spirit, art, everything that is born out of the soul. And usually it doesn't really have a physical representation. Sometimes it has, other times it is not simply needed. Like, let me give you one of the most relevant examples. For example, many churches, many um, places of worship, regardless of the religion, usually have icons, holy paintings, holy statues, holy symbols. Those are one of the prime examples of Jupiter and Neptune manifested in physical reality. And special places, for example, in my country, my culture, which is a heavily mystical culture, Orthodox, Christian Orthodox, there are so many miraculous statues and icons and paintings which actually do stuff, as in it's real, and people have always known here for basically forever. So that's what I'm trying to say, that this meeting in Jupiter of Neptune can actually come together in so very many different ways, and some of its expression is definitely highly supernatural. Let me just give you an example. The last time this happened was around 1850 something, 56 maybe, and the occult world, occult philosophy, ancient wisdom, everything that had to do with mysticism, well, it started rising, and rising fast. Rising perhaps not necessarily in the sense that something that much new and original was created, but people were open about it. Societies were created openly, not really hidden, no longer being the occult in the sense that secret, hidden from the sight. It was more obvious, more accessible to that time than ever before. So basically, in our day and age, that conjunction, that meeting of Jupiter and Neptune in 1856, it is tomorrow on the 12th of April when that ends. So that ends, and the new expression of the same energy is going to be relevant. It is going to be basically, as I said in the horoscope, deluging the world. And the way we can experience that, well, on first hand, the internet, humanity's collective consciousness, technology, which is highly Uranian. It has nothing to do with the spirit in a direct manner, as in the next link is the spirit. No, there's so very intermediary links between that and the spirit. But today the internet is more spiritual. It is a fountain of spirit, even more than anything else, to be totally honest with you, because movies, computer games, fantasy, even the negative expression of the spirit, porn, demonic stuff, witchcraft, but in a way that you want to hurt someone, harm someone, etc. Poisons, whatever you want, any dark stuff you can find on the internet. There's no limits. Dark is also the spirit. Now let's be honest with each other. Alcohol can make a totally normal person do extreme things. So the influence of the spirit. So where I'm going with this is, this definitely begins a new cycle of spirituality. This is where the way we live spirituality is already a little bit different. So whatever this conjunction is bound to produce, it it's already way in progress. Maybe we need to wait until autumn, perhaps, until the end of the year, perhaps, when Jupiter returns into this part of the sky briefly for the final wrap up, for the final mirror moment. But we'll have so very many expressions of this energy before that takes place. Now, because this is so rare, and basically this blows mind, this is phenomenal. Like, just this week in my life, more things as a mystical, supernatural, unexplainable, almost miraculous, at the borderline of the miraculous happened to me. So this is where I can only shut up. I can't even speak because I'm that blown away. So let's just allow the spirit to say what it wants. Let's not predict, let's not anything. Just allow the spirit to speak through us. Now, of course, before I get into the reading, just a couple of advices. Music, arts, beauty, everything that has to do with the soul, with imagination, with freedom of joy and playfulness and optimism and faith, Jupiter is truly encouraged right now. Of course, in a healthy manner. Let's not drown in the illusion. But at the same time, I do believe that we had so many lessons for this, the COVID situation and all that, so we kind of know how not to drown. We learned how to swim. We learned how to dive. We learned how to hold our breath underwater. So we're a little bit whales and dolphins already. We were trained heavily to survive this. So let's see what the spirit would like for a Wands. This is so beautiful already. But of course, the very reason why I'm doing this as in live, as in you can see the process of me extracting the cards, is because, well, the Neptune-Jupiter conjunct Pisces, third decan of Pisces, undoing of the self, ruled by Scorpio, co-ruled by Scorpio. That is where Neptune can take its darkest expression if needed or want. So this can go either way. Even doom and gloom can basically manifest. Oh. This is pretty interesting because what the spirit is saying, this is the Four of Wands. This means that many of us do feel a strong sense of completion in our lives. This is where there is truly, in a direct felt way, a strong and clear borderline where we can almost determine it even mentally, where we were different before in so very many ways, and now, even or especially without us realizing it, knowing it, because superficially, perhaps the same reality is still running for us, that we're trying to perceive the same way, and because it's not, that's why there are big blockages in our perceptions. For example, exactly my reaction. What is happening? How come I am honored with something positive and it's usually the not so favorable expression of the spirit in my life? So this is where we do have a strong completion in our lives. And for a lot of people, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this week, but soon it will call for a massive celebration. The Empress is reversed, the King of Coins is reversed. This means that this completion ended something. So right now the Empress, our self-worth, but also the integrity of our value system, King of Coins, especially physically speaking, livelihood and everything that has to do with the physical life, it is different. We don't know what the new is, we don't even know yet the new us, who it is that we truly are, who it is that we are becoming. It is totally at this point, at this stage, outside of our control. So this is where we're almost kicked out of our bodies, kicked out into the astral plane, and we have kind of no choice but to observe ourselves from the eagle's perch becoming someone else. But that someone else is beautiful, Empress. That someone else is deeply nurturing. That someone else understood the importance of love, and that love is the glue that binds together everything that lives and breathes. And many times lives have given us example that not even that which just simply exists is also subjective to love in so very many ways. I don't want to exemplify now because I'll make it way too long, but we have already deeply learned this, and it is exactly because we understood on a soul level, but with the purity of the divine spark within us, what love means. All of us had a moment, just perhaps a few weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, when we were placed in the position of the mother. Regardless of the gender, you can be male, female, or any gender or non-gender. We had situations in our lives when we were called upon to love and nurture and take care of someone, something unconditionally. Pet, family member, person, a tree, grass, an old PC or whatever. We were called to show and embody our nurturing powers, our nurturing, how should I say, modus operandi, that which is internal, that which is on a soul level. Of course, through our lives, we do pick up certain tricks and skills from other nurturers, but isn't that the most beautiful way of learning? When we already are full of compassion and love, and we see another person do it a little bit different or a little bit more efficiently or beautifully, and it inspires us, and we want to learn that, we want to embrace that, and vice versa, of course. So this King of Coins reverse is not bad, because we are deeply up, such a dichotomy again, deeply uprooted, as in profoundly uprooted. This is where our roots don't even touch the earth anymore. We're just, I must show this, because this is exactly how we are now. This is where I'm trying to grow sage, to take roots. That is how we are. We were cut off from the, trunk of the tree, from the original roots, and we're just placed in an ethereal water until we have a little bit of root, and then the universe has every single intent to plant us into a place where we can feel at home, not necessarily physically for everyone, the soul, where we can just exist in a certain serenity, not 24/7, but that is the essence of a home. When you are tired from life, from everything, you can have that moment of serenity and just regenerate, whatever that means to you. For some, this is a forest. For some, this is the bench down the flat block of flats. For others, this is the house of the best friend. For others, this is their parents' house, their own house, a church, whatever. But of course, this is physically, emotionally, community, that person, those people, that collective, or simply just yourself with your hundreds of spirit guides. That's also a community. Yes, you are the only one physical, but that doesn't mean that you don't have an army. Just open your eyes. And that army of yours, if you're one of these people, is so present that you have to be very silly not to see that they're all around you trying to help you, or maybe they're just celebrating you. Maybe some people's here spirit guides are throwing a massive party, symbolically to be understood, because they already done the job. They're free. Work done. So this is very, very optimistic. Now, the uprooting might not be positive. That might have a moment of scarcity when, the way you used to live your material life, income, job, routines, modus operandi, what is worth what is the worth for my time form, is it worth it, is the money worth it, what is worth it basically. And that already profoundly changed all of us. So this is where a lot of people, if you haven't been guided there will be moments of uprooting, but the uprooting is short because the Knight of Coins, is going exactly where he needs to be. Well, the universe is pretty tricky. The Knight of Coins and the Knight of Cups. So the same thing as I said here, emotionally speaking. The lover, the comfortable emotional state, being in your own energy and feeling absolutely wonderful, alone if you wish to, not alone if that is your specific, emotionally being able to just be yourself. And the Knights. Go where, into which direction feels comfortable in the now. Life is not meant to be static, life is meant to be dynamic. But as long as you have this, you feel that you belong, you can go anywhere because the world is gonna be your playground. This is just, see, it's already happening. The three knights jumping out. The Knight of Wands, well, the same thing as the other two knights, but it is passion, it is creativity, it is conquering, it is proving yourself to yourself, but in a playful manner, as an adventure, not hell-bent, if I lose what? No, there's no loss, there's no win, there's just an adventure and creativity. This is a bit too much. So, okay, one final card, because I do believe that the universe is way too optimistic now. What you seek also seeks you. So I think there's not much more to say for me personally. This was pretty self-explanatory. But, as they say, give the Christ what is rightfully the Christ's, and the Caesar the earthly. So at least let's just extract one card for the collect. What happens in the world out there? Besides the floods, because we kind of already know that, and also the mass psychosis. So what happens in the world, in the collective, on the world stage? That's it. This is pretty interesting. Either a world religious leader like the Pope, the Dalai Lama, or someone very relevant like the great patriarch in the old Orthodox culture, stuff like that. So a very important religious leader is going to oppose strongly something, the Seven of Wands. This religious leader or very important spiritual or moral person is going to do a very unusual gesture that will produce a Uranian moment, a moment either of truth, an epiphany, or something moving. And I do believe that this is actually in a positive sense. Or not. The Three of Swords. So there is going to be a frightening moment or something truly Three of Swords like, but for the collective, the people. And this religious leader is going to stand up and do something like truly, I don't even know the word to say, impressive or admirable, but it doesn't mean that the gesture is going to do all that much good immediately, because it is going to be challenged, it is going to be ridiculed, opposed. So this religious leader won't have an easy job. But something is definitely going to be completed. A big truth is going to come out. And the big truth is not an information, the reality of the situation, better said. That which you don't need the details, your soul and your mind, your simple human mind just knows where it is going. So being able to see the big picture, at least for a little bit, but not down to earth information, dates, facts, figures, but just knowing where things are going. Before, when Uranus was this very chaotic, we could not predict the future, even if our lives depend on it. But this is where Uranus is telling us a lot has happened, and based on what happened, there is the possibility to predict, because we can already know where things are going, at least in the big run, because a lot has happened, and based on what happened, we know how to anticipate it. But there is something fearful, there is something that people, us, the collective, is definitely not gonna like. A big shocking moment or something cruel and really, really inhumane. But there is gonna be action, and this Palace of Coins, well, this doesn't exist in normal tarot. This just makes this world card be that much more stable, as in something truly complete, something truly feels like it came to a maturity, or at least to a completion. Well, this is what the cards and the divine has to say for today. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for listening, and wishing everyone the most miraculous and magical Neptune and Jupiter conjunction. And please, 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 just stay in faith and hope as strongly as you can at this time, and do whatever you feel like on a soul level. If you feel like just painting or just dreaming or just whatever feels comfortable for you, because chances are comfort is very important, because the universe will want to speak to you. And you will not be an exception. All you need to do is listen and find the way where it kind of phones you. So thank you again. If you'd like to support my work, you can donate in the PayPal link in the description below. Until next time, bye for now.